Hello everyone and welcome to Forgotten Games. My name's Frenglish and today I'm going to go over the Attack of the Dead event. I'm covering this event again because now it's pretty bug-free. Okay, mainly bug-free. Okay, it works on occasion. But it's been around for quite a few times, it's had a couple of changes, so I thought it would be good to go over all the basics and the best things to do. First of all, you have the setup. Now, as with most events, this starts before you even get into the game. To start off with, you're going to want to make sure you have your armies set up correctly, as this will save you a lot of time. As you can see, I've set up my armies having a spear, cav and an infantry army, already assigned with my troops ready to go in. For the fourth one, I also have reinforcement army, which is a grand total of 1 tier 3 cav. The reason I set this up, it will become evident once we get into the game. Once you've done that, make sure you have your badges set up, as well as the talents, and then we can just jump in. Obviously, you're also going to want to get a Lord in your Hall of Faces, the Scepters of 7 bonuses, anything you can think of will normally be assigned. Take note though that your equipment, refinement and other things, as always, will only apply to the army with your Lord in. That's why I have Tyrion as my Lord, due to his bonuses are total troop types, so I have him in every formation. Means that whatever army I have at the wall, I'll gain the maximum bonus. And now we're in the game. The Attack of the Dead is basically a game mode built around having 3 alliances that... okay, 2.5 alliances that work together in order to defend the wall. The wall will be under periodic attack from different waves, becoming harder and harder. We'll look at the waves in a bit more detail later, as well as the proper counters. In order to help you defeat these waves, you will earn a substance called Dragon Glass by doing different events. The Dragon Glass can then be spent on one of these 4 buildings, that being the Stable, Maester's Tent, Training Field, and the Sacred Temple. The first 3 are rather similar in their use. The Stable increases your speed by 100% for 5 minutes. The Maester's Tent increases your healing by 100% for 5 minutes, while Training Field increases your attack and defense by 100% for 3 minutes. Now these bonuses stack, so if you have 2 bonuses in your skills tab and you activate them both at the same time, for example for quick healing, you will have 10 minutes or 600 seconds of quick healing. This means that it's not a good idea to use these skills as soon as they become available. What you should do is hopefully aim to gather a certain amount with your alliance, then use them all at the end. In the case of the Stables and the Maester's Tent, you don't really want to upgrade these past level 7. At level 7, you will have 6 bonuses to use. The 6 bonuses will last half an hour, and these boosts will not be really needed until the last half an hour. In the case of healing, you have a lot of troops, so you won't need to worry about healing until the first half an hour has gone by. And in terms of speed, you should not be changing your troops that often at the lower levels, because the waves are an awful lot weaker. Sometimes even putting forth your strongest army at the start is enough to tank the first 10 odd waves. The Training Field is a little bit more circumspect, as it only lasts for 3 minutes. However, getting this to level 7 still only means that you have 18 minutes, so activating in the last 18 minutes will be worth a lot more overall. Finally, the Sacred Temple. This is where you want to dump the lion's share of your Dragon Glass. The reason for this is that each level you'll be able to unlock a card. Now these cards are slightly random, but you get to choose which bonus you really want to apply. So you can add Spear Attack, Spear Defense, Spear Health, or Cav Attack, Cav Defense, Cav Health. And you can help either balance out your stacks or go for a complete monster. You will gain a lot more bonus from the Sacred Temple than you will from the Training Fields in total. Because the Training Field bonus, even though the durability, or the duration, does extend, these bonuses don't stack, so the highest you'll get is 100% army attack and 100% army defense. So if you've already got the bonus until the end of the game with the Training Fields, then always put everything to the Sacred Temple. As noted before, in the Sacred Temple you get 3 things to choose from. As the Spearmen are by far my best troop type when it comes to sort of bonuses, badges and everything I've got gathered, I will be going for Spearman Health here. Including to that, I'll add the Spearman Defense and the overall army attack. Next up I have an attack bonus. Now, while spears are very useful, I'm going to vary it a bit just so my other troops aren't completely useless by adding a cavalry attack here, and I can always run a spear cav formation for the added boost. Each level of the Sacred Temple will give you even bigger bonuses. First things first, I'm going to send probably my best army, which is my spear army, straight to the wall. That's going to live there for the first 10 odd waves, and then we're going to get onto the Dragon Glass. You have multiple ways of earning Dragon Glass. First of all is gathering. Now, bow heroes are wonderful for this, as you probably won't use them in your formations, so you can just send them out to gather without a care in the world. If you end up a little bit shy, it's always worth adding a dragon, which can carry more, and if you have a dragon with gathering skills such as this, it will also impact how much you grab, so that can be advantageous. Just a quick example here of why the dragon makes a difference. Just by sending my gathering dragon, I'm earning 84 more dragon glass per gather. Again, these amounts aren't a lot, I only gained about 500 in the first 5 minutes. However, if everybody in your alliance does this, this could be an extra 5,000, 10,000, 20,000 every 5 minutes or so. Secondly, you have these rallies. These rallies are going to be your best way of earning dragon glass. Anybody who joins, including with one troop, this is why I have my reinforcement army set up like this, will gain the same amount of dragon glass. So by having my troops set up like this, I have a very good army I can send out, be it inf, cav or spear, depending on the formations. And what I can also do is reinforce all the rallies as they come up. Now you're going to want to always have as many rallies as possible running. They're fairly cheap, attacking these rebel camps, and normally you come out with nearly no losses. You can only join 2 rallies at a time, but by having people, for example now Neo has started early, this will probably be hidden back in time for me to join Danny's winter rally, and so on, continuously cycling. The other advantage, of course, to sending only cav, or in this case 1 cav, into a rally, is that they get back normally a lot quicker. Because of their high speed, it means there's a much higher turnaround rate. We can see here from this report, I earned 820 Dragon Glass just by sending 1 cav, and we lost 100 odd troops. Same here, I earned 925. This is the same for every alliance member, and therefore this is your best way of earning Dragon Glass. While you can have up to 30 members, and you could probably easily clear these camps with, say, I don't know, 3-4 people joining the rally, but having 30 means you're earning 10 times the amount of Dragon Glass, and 30 times this is a few thousand. Just by doing that rally, if we had 30 people in it, it would be enough to upgrade the stable, the mace's tent, and the training field all to level 2. It's even enough to upgrade the Sacred Temple to level 2, just from that one rally, which is why rallies are probably your most important earner. And now the wall is being breached, so we have the first wave incoming. Let's have a look at the different levels. And now we have the first fight at the wall. The fight at the wall happens in waves. You have a few minutes in between each wave in order to reorganize troops, and the Army of the Dead will attack. Let's have a look at the next attacking wave in more detail. And now we have wave 2 starting. Now once a wave starts, that doesn't mean combat starts straight away. You still have about 20 seconds, or about 30 seconds, for the Army of the Dead to even get to the wall, meaning if your troops aren't there yet, no need to pressure them, they still have a little bit of time. Now what happens is as soon as you start engaging, they have 90 armies attacking our 75 at the wall, so the troops will start cycling. If you defeat a wave, your army will go back to the back of the queue, and someone else will do another attack, and so on and so forth. If you lose the fight, that same enemy army will be able to attack again, meaning that losing a fight makes the waves go on for longer. Therefore, it can be advantageous if you're a smaller count not to send a smaller army at the end, because all that you're doing is delaying the wave, making it last longer, and for the fighting to take a much, much longer time. As you can see, right now, the Army of the Dead are rather weak. If we have a look at the battle log, we can see that they only have about 100% bonus, so most of your abilities should be easy enough to counter this. Even the bonuses from your Lord and badges are going to be higher in total. So you don't need to worry, you should be able to push through the first waves fairly easily. Every time you kill someone, you will earn a certain amount of contribution points. Contribution points are important as this determines the sort of level of reward you get at the end. The maximum contribution points you can get is 1.8 million. While the score goes higher, anything higher than 1.8 will not net you extra rewards, so that's sort of the magical number to aim for. There is, however, another way to earn your contribution points. As you can see here, by transporting the Dragon Glass, you can do this even if you've got a full amount of rallies, it's instantaneous. You will earn even more contribution points, and as you can see, you earn quite a bit just by dropping off the Dragon Glass. A few good rallies, and you could earn a couple of 100,000 points. So even just by doing the rallies and not fighting, if you're a small account, you will probably be able to get the 1.8 million if you're very diligent, especially if you pair that with as much gathering as you can. There is a third option of attacking these rebel sentries and rebel guards. I wouldn't necessarily recommend it, as the Dragon Glass can be quite low as receiving, and it will take up valuable movement slots. You want to always have an army at the wall if you can, plus 2 gathering would eventually earn you more. Plus you want to keep your troops movement available for the rallies. But if you have a couple more slots, feel free to do so. Now let's have a look at the waves themselves. This is probably the main element of the Attack of the Dead event, and what you have to look out for. Before each wave, it's useful to have someone to check the amount of troops people still have, as anything below sort of 50% or 200,000 would probably be a little bit too weak to tank the lower levels. Here we can see it's very early, so most people still have quite large armies. However, in the case of, say, Mary 2 Ghost, only has about 200,000 troops left, may have to refresh that soon. Again, because every time you lose, you basically allow the AI one more army to attack with, and the wave goes on for longer. If half your people lose in a wave, it will take nearly twice as long. Not to mention delaying the next wave and reducing rewards and other things like that. The waves themselves are as follows. As you can see, the first 4 waves are infantry, then the next 4 are cav, then we have spear, which is why up until wave 10 I normally send my spear army. The first 4 waves are so weak that the infantry bonus really doesn't apply. The next 4 are cav, and then we have a spear bow, meaning perfectly fine. Then after that, you can start countering if you need. My spearman army on its own normally lasts until about wave 14, but you just need to run the counter to these formations. These formations haven't changed in a few seasons, so I'm pretty sure this is the good counters. Encoding overload already. Lovely. Looking at the harder waves, it's fairly straightforward. At wave 15, you are being attacked by infantry spear, so therefore you want to be able to counter with infantry cav. The infantry to tank the spear and infantry attacks, and the cavalry to deal damage back, killing the front row while staying safe from the spear. At wave 16 it's pure infantry, so you want to counter cavs. Wave 17 is a spear best counter, then you have spear imp, so you can combine both of those waves and just send a really big spear army if needed with a few imps behind. Then you have cav spears for wave 19 as a good counter. Now, it's important not to just keep plain spears there, as the cav infantry formation will do an awful lot of damage. The infantry being protected and dealing extra damage to spears will be dangerous. Wave 20, you're back to just plain spears, and wave 20 is plain imp. Very nice to deal with. As is before, you have wave 20 and 21 and 22, having imp and imp cav, so a very big infantry army can save you 2 waves there, meaning you don't need to pull out as much. Wave 23, you're being attacked by cavalry spearmen, so you need to counter with spear imp in order to do the most amount of damage. And then after that, waves 24 to 27 are fairly straightforward. You just counter with a direct counter of the troop type attacking. The only exception at the end is wave 28. Wave 28 does an awful lot of damage as bows. Your best bet, as you're unlikely to have bows yourself, to a certain degree, is just to go for the best army you currently have. If you're cavalry focused, go cavalry. If you're infantry focused, go infantry. And just try and deal as much damage. Now, there are no waves after wave 28, so if you don't finish it, it's no real problem. Once again, I thought I'd take a quick look to show you the wall. It's about wave 10 now. As you can see here, we have 48% of the army from Neptune, meaning you should probably pull back and send it again. Like Gagatek, Neo, Philid, all above 80%, still quite large armies. I mean, they're not really going to lose a fight. Plania, for example, here only has 100,000 troops, 42% of their strength. This will probably be a loss in the future waves. It'd be much better and earn a lot more contribution points if he pulled back and used one of the counters. And so on and so forth. Most people still obviously quite high, as we're low in the rankings. This Fringlish chap at 96.8, definitely going to have to keep an eye on that army. But that's roughly it. If you have one person in alliance, you can just double check these and help people call them out if needed. And there we have it. There's the attack of the Dead event. And as you can see from this event rankings, in that match I came in 7th. Despite being a little bit further down when it comes to my normal alliance location. I wish you best for the next event, and I hope you manage to use these to gain the 1.8 million contribution. If you like this video, please share it with your alliance, and please, only get the Mace's Tendon Stable to level 7. I hate seeing it each time. Leave a like and comment down below, and I hope to see you next time. Toodles.